Hey everybody, it's JD here, and we are live with Strange Are Things with I'm your host, JD. My co-host is Mr. Slab-Dragon. Say hello, TJ.
Hello, everyone.
Hey everybody, it's JD here, and we are live with Strange Are Things. Is that me? I'm your host, JD. My co-host is Mr. Slab-Dragon. Say hello, TJ.
Hello, everyone.
Hey everybody, it's JD here, and we are live with me. Sorry, we back?
Yep.
All right, sorry about that. I did not check to see what was going on. I apologize. So we kind of looped around. But anyway, we have our guest today is DS Comics, and welcome to the zoo. DS, how are you?
What's up? Good. I'm happy to be here. What's up, JD? And hey, TJ, nice to meet you face-to-face for the first time.
Same here. Nice to meet you, too.
Going to give a little shout-out to the chat right now. We have Caleb, Comic Smurf Murphy. How we doing, Smurf? Comics Miss Explain, Comics NYC. Chad, Mr. 90MF Comic, who was a guest on our last show. So very good to have you guys here. So this is the zoo. Pretty much, you watch a few Stranger Things. The whole idea of it is that we're not going to talk about necessarily keys. We're not going to necessarily talk about spec or anything else like that. It's going to be comic books or something that's different that we collect. Last time was statues. First time TJ and I did it, we did Pieta covers. This time we decided to call it the zoo. We're going to show some animals. So not every book is going to be in front of you. We're going to have DS Comics has an absolute great want list out there, and he's got a few that are getting pressed and cleaned right now. And we know TJ is going to show us Slab or 7,000. We never know. So it'll be a good time. Hello, Comic Core, Chad, I assume. All right. So first off, you want to know, if you don't know, I collect elephant covers from the Golden Age. It's one of those things I like to do. So I'll be showing a lot of elephant covers. I know these guys like various things, so I'll let them tell everybody what they want to do. James, you want to tell a little bit about what you like to collect?
All right, yeah, I can go first. All right, so I'm a big LB Cole fan. Anybody who watches my channel knows that. So he's my favorite artist, and I also like sharks. Just always like sharks, even like outside of comics. So I really like shark covers. And especially I'm into Golden Age, so what I'm trying to pick up is Golden Age shark covers. So of course at the top of the list is the Golden Age sharks and the LB Cole. So LB Cole shark covers is at the top of my list. Now he's only got 4 of them, and they're all pretty tough to find and expensive. So it's a challenge, but I've got 2 of them so far. So I can show one of them I picked up. Both of these are pickups in the last few months too, actually. So. First one I've got here is Criminals on the Run, and it's volume 4, number 4. And this is a really cool LB Cole shark cover.
That's it right there. Look at that.
Very nice.
And it's got gleaming red eyes on the shark. So yeah, this is just a really like a shark grail for me. Really, really love this cover. And I found it in a nice grade. It's a 5.0 with off-white to white pages. So really, really great book here. This is probably my second favorite Cole shark cover, although it's the least valuable. But I really dig it. It's just so cool. So that's one of the ones I got. And then the other one I've got out of those 4 is Guns Against Gangsters, number 6. Same publisher. Also a fantastic cover.
Love that cover.
And yeah, just the girl's wearing heels and she's got a knife and she's tearing up the shark, and it's just that aqua background. This one I bought in a lot of 3 books, all raw, and I got them for a decent price. I sold the other 2, and essentially this one ended up being a $50 book for me.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty good. It's got some issues up here, water staining, and if you can see that.
Right.
So yeah, it's a little rough. There's a tape pull on the side, but really tough to find. Really awesome cover. Yeah, so these are my 2 LB Cole short covers that I have.
Very cool.
And if you want to see the 2 that I still am going after, I'll do a screen share and show those to you.
Sure.
I can figure out how to do this.
There we go. Right. See me.
Let's see. Oh, I have this one. This is Fighting Yank 20. Alex Schoenberg cover here with a shark. This one is out being pressed and cleaned right now, and I think it's probably going to fall around a 7.
Wow.
I get it graded. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, the guy who's pressing it sent me some pictures of the work he's done on it so far, and it looks phenomenally better. This is not a picture of mine, but when I get it back, everybody will see it. Then this, wait, where am I going here? All right, so this is LB Cole shark cover.
Right.
You can see the shark in the background. But this is also a really sought after pre-code horror book. It's Blue Bolt 114. So yeah, underwater zombie cover, but also got that big shark in the background.
Yep.
And then the fourth and final one is Catman 32.
Yeah.
With Catman and Kitty on the cover, and of course wrestling that shark.
Yep.
So, and this one's probably the easiest one to find out of the four. It's not super expensive. I mean, you can get a 2 to 3 of this. I think probably several $100s, which for these books is reasonable,
Really,
albeit expensive. But yeah, so that one, the Blue Bolt, and then the two I showed. Those are the 4 LB Coles. I got 2 of them right now. So
excellent. Very cool. TJ, what do you want to show first?
Well, I got one that has some apes on it. It's Korak #1, a Son of Tarzan.
Very cool.
Gold Key. That's my latest animal book I just got in the last week.
TJ throws up a 9.4, everybody.
But sticking with the Gold Key, I got a nice eagle book.
Love those eagle bugs.
This is the first Gold Key comic.
That's the first one, right, Tarzan? Yeah, that's the first Gold Key ever, right?
Yep.
Wow. Look at the talons. Look at that.
That one's not an easy one to find either, surprisingly. In a high grade.
Nice.
And this one is a Tarzan before Gold Key from 1959 with an elephant.
That's one of mine. Look at that. Edgar Rice. That's one of the Dells, yeah. Yeah.
Not easy to find a 9.8 from 1959 either.
Well, they said always the bad guys collected Dells. A 9.8's pretty impressive right there. Let's everybody look at that.
You probably got the only one, TJ, so it's going to be real hard for everybody else now.
9.8.
It is the only one, yes.
He's got the highest grade on the census.
So,
that's one of those things that we love doing here.
I love the Dell Gold Key painted covers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's a cool Tarzan shark cover, too, that's on my list, but TJ probably already has a 9.6 of that somewhere. But I'm just going to go for like a VG copy of that, TJ.
I think I have a Korak shark cover that's a 9.2. I have.
Nice.
I'm going to show a little bit of some My Elephant covers here. We started off with LB Cole. I'm going to show up some LB Cole. This is Terrors in the Jungle #5. The one thing about My Elephant covers is usually you want the good girl art on it as well. LB Cole did a phenomenal job on this one. This one's probably the more sought after, but these are reasonably priced. Of all the LB Cole covers, this series, Terrors of the Jungle and the one after it, are not impossible to find. I see these all the time, but finding them in good grade is a little rough. But again, these are all fairly good price, and you can get them anywhere between a couple $100 on up, but not that much. It's really nice. The next one is Terrors of the Jungle #8, because it was a short run series. And that's another good girl art there. She's run away from a tiger, so you get the double animals. And actually, I do love the tiger on this one as much as I love the elephant. LB Cole is a master, as we saw with DS Comics as Sharks, and it's just one of those artists of the Atomic Age, pre-code horror age, that even before that is just real solid. I do have a Schoenberg here. I was going to show because we mentioned Alex Schoenberg. My Schoenberg is, I believe, from early 40s. It's Thrilling Comics #63. This is a nice copy. I mean, the colors pop on this for a book as old as it does. And again, she's got her knife. She's got the elephant by the trunk on a leash and her tiger right there. And this is pretty cool series. A lot of the Thrillings I got a chance to see. Apparently there was a bunch of them that were found recently over the last 6 years. So beautiful, nice painted cover by Alex Schoenberg, which you see he puts Sella.
I love his airbrush period. It's
the airbrush
than his others.
I think it stopped around the mid 40s because this is 63, so that's pretty old from that era.
Yeah, the end of with the Startling Comics run, at the end of that is really where he tails off on the airbrushed covers. Like Startling 49 is probably the most popular, but after that, there's not, there might be a couple. There's like Exciting Comics 62 or something. There's a shark cover at the end of that as well, but that's, yeah.
There's one other Schoenberg I want. It's Real Life 35. I mean, I see it everywhere. I mean, I don't see it everywhere. I see it on one website all the time. I'm just not willing to pull the trigger on that yet. But those are some early showing of some of our elephants. So let's just, of my elephant books. Let's show some more. Yes, see what else you want to show.
All right, I've got a couple other LB Cole books. Yeah, and I told you guys were going to be mad at me because I've got like 4 or 5 rock solid animal covers out getting pressed and cleaned, and
That's
I've
cool.
got probably like 3 or 4 more getting graded at CGC right now. So like most of them are not even here, but LB Cole, along with the sharks, he's got far more covers involving big cats, tigers, lions, and I've only got one of those with me and a couple more out. But one I got, I'm really proud of this book. It's not worth a lot, but it's just a super cool book, and this is Jungle Thrills 1, and it's a 3D.
Yep.
And it's it's a low grade, what is it, 4.0, but it's got the glasses included and attached.
Nice.
So that's the key for these 3D books.
Yep.
And this is just, a pretty solid copy. It's never been pressed or cleaned. I think I could actually bump it up because you can see there's a lot of pressable defects on this, but just a really cool LB Cole big cat cover there.
Nice.
And then I got one more. I don't even know if this really qualifies as the animal cover. I guess technically it does, although the animal is missing a face. It's got a skull, but just I'm digging deep to try to find some animal covers for you guys. So this is Spook 22. It's got a horse on it, but it's the horse is missing the face. It's just a skull, but why not show it? It's cool. It's a headless horseman. It's really tough to show this in photos and on videos because of the dark blue and the black on it. So I don't think that's showing up very well.
I think it's good. I think there's a Spook Detective. Is that the Spook Detective cases where there's a horse race? Or is it a
that's a shocking mystery, I think.
Yeah, it's a horse race. All the skeletons, and they're all skeletons except for one horse in it. And they're all chasing, because I know the merry-go-round is obviously a Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah, I think this is the one you're talking about, interestingly, because I was actually just watching it.
Yep, that's
probably that one you're talking about.
Yep, that's the one. I've always looked at that one. I've always said that's underrated, undervalued. That's the man right there.
Yeah, Shocking Mysteries got some cool stuff.
Yep. Here you go. I hope we're dropping knowledge to everybody out there about collecting some of the pre-code horror as well as jungle and.
Oh, and then I was going to throw in also, JD, the Terrors of the Jungle. They changed the name either to or from. I don't know which came first. Was Terrifying Tales.
Right.
And then Terrors of the Jungle. It's basically one big series, and they just changed the name and kept the numbering going. So I don't know which came first, but those all together is the full series.
See, I have the years written on. A lot of times I write the years on the back, so I know what it is. 1954 was number 8, so probably before that, because the code came out in 56. So Terrifying Tales might have been first before it was Terrors of the Jungle. So I don't know. Well, actually, it was number 8 and 5, so we'll have to look that up.
Well, I've got that one on my list too. So let's see. The Terrifying Tales has a number 11, so maybe that came afterwards.
Oh, okay. Here's 8. There you go.
Well, yeah. Here's a cool Terrifying Tales that I want. I'm sure you will too. But
yes, that's
number 11.
Look at that one.
It's got cats. It's got baboons, and it's got a good girl in the middle, and just of course the kaleidoscope of colors.
Look at that.
Fantastic book there. So another LB Cole.
Yep. Good stuff. So let me shout out the chat here a little bit here. We have Reggie Simmons, IFBB Pro. How we doing, Reggie?
Hi, Reggie.
We've got here White Whale. Very cool. We have Still Comics NYC. Very cool. Good group. Seawood, how we doing? These are all new newsstand. Talking about, I guess they all would be. Very cool. If I miss anybody, I apologize. Usually I rely on Jeffrey for this. So, TJ, what else you want to show a little bit?
Well, I'll just show some Fiction House books.
Oh, let's do Fiction House. I'm a big fan.
I really like Fiction House a lot. Older series, just not the jungle ones, but I really do have a passion for the jungle books. And this is a nice elephant jumbo comics with Sheena.
Love that.
To find a jumbo comic or a jungle comic that's .0 above, I'm going to grab it.
Right. Now, is that the Jack Kamen cover?
That is a
Joe Doolin?
Doesn't say who does the cover. It says Matt Baker. The art is in it though.
Yeah, see that's the thing with that area. It's Iger shop, so you really don't know who did what at that point.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite ones. If you were with me at C2E2, you know I put that book down too many times to count.
And CGC did a video documentary on John Burke collection that he's selling off.
Mm-hmm.
I grabbed when it went up for sale. This is one of my favorite Jumbo comics covers.
Yeah, that one's real cool. I like that.
This, the baboon man riding a zebra.
Yep. With the redheaded Sheena, so it didn't clash with the yellow background.
Yep. And another thing about Fiction House, though, they fade easy. So you gotta,
oh yeah,
try to find the ones that still have the color intact, because a lot of them didn't survive with a lot of color intact. And got nice lion cover one.
Look at that. Fiction House, just one of those that you gotta love.
Yeah, and they had, for like pre-code horror, which I'm into, obviously EC had all the top artists. They had the best crew. But for other golden age, like non-horror stuff, Fiction House had all the big names working for them. And that's why all the art on all those titles is phenomenal.
Yep.
If you think about it, EC having Lee Elias, Jack Davis, I mean, you could just go on. And then Fiction House doing the Iger shop with Whitman, Baker, Joe Doolin, Jack Kamen. I mean, there's so many in there. And then I always give a shout out to a few other ones that Atlas doesn't really get enough of it. I mean, but you're talking your Russ Heaths, your of that era. Just some really classic guys in that too.
Probably Russ Heath, Joe Maneely, and Bill Everett, probably the top three Atlas. Real good.
I'm a big Joe Maneely fan as well.
Yeah. And I think Fiction House also had a lot of work by some Lou Fine in some of their early stuff, and some Will Eisner on some of their early stuff too.
Yeah,
so
that's the hard thing. Actually, a Will Eisner cover for Jumbo, I think it's 23, is one of those that I'm really in the hunt for. It's a tough one to find.
But if you haven't checked out that CGC video they did on John Burke collection, you should check it out. It's pretty fascinating.
I'll check that out. Yeah.
It's on their website.
Nice. You showing any more Fiction House there, TJ?
No.
Okay, I got a few here that you'll like here. I have a lot of Sheena. This is my Jumbo 158, one of the last ones of the run. Oh, let me switch over so you can see me. Here's one of the last ones of the Jumbo runs. There's one more after this that I'm really on the hunt for. It's a black cover. We discussed this beforehand, and the eye is red as red can be on there, and it really is a good book to have. It's just in great shape. I know people said I would consider a 5.5, if not better, but I'm happy with having this. These are harder later run issues of Jumbo. One of my favorite ones, Sheena herself, what number is this one? This is number 9. When Sheena got her own series, the key with this one is all those elephants at the bottom. It's still, and when TJ was 1 billion times accurate, the color fades on these so much. I've never seen one of these with the pink still on the straps of the elephant. It's the first color that fades. So this stays out of the sun all the time. I'm afraid of that one.
And that's such a rare color for Golden Age stuff to even see it, because it doesn't hold up, and there's not a lot of that color on any of the books for the most part anyway. So yeah, that's a real gem with that color strike.
Yeah, it's tough to find. Another one is a Joe Doolin. It's a Kanga. Well, this is an Iger shop, so I don't really know who did the cover, but this has some really good girl art here. Well drawn. Another red eye elephant, so I would say it could be the same Jack Kamen, Joe Doolin run. Then this is Joe Doolin here. This is number 143. This was my latest pickup. I just couldn't pass up this condition for this book. It's really good, and there's a lot with the elephants fighting off various animals. It's hyenas, it's leopards, it's tigers, and he always picks up the girl, and Kanga's over there. It's always been really good. Then, of course, my jungle. This is 153. Another classic girl with a knife there with attacking, and the elephant was a part of the. But there's a lot of knives being thrown around, a lot of action, and a lot of colors on this book. Each guy's shirt that has a shirt on is a different color, and I think this doesn't get enough credit for being as different as it is. It's kind of a cover swipe from an early jumbo, but
and look how red the elephant's mouth is on that one. That's like,
yep.
like a bright red, and they're still holding today after 60-something years.
Yeah. And a few slab. I have two slabbed here. I have a 6.5 Jungle 110. This is from 1949. This is again when they're fighting the hyenas. You could see it's almost the same style. Here she's dressed a little differently, but this is Baker, and this is very Phantom Lady-esque on the face. And it's definitely the different style of elephant. There's a few where Baker does just the elephant on it, and they're usually darker and shadowed and rendered all around the inside over here. So if any of you Baker fans want to know, Baker's first work ever is a jumbo comic. Yeah. It's Jumbo 69. It's a lion cover, actually.
Did you get that one on eBay?
This one?
Yeah.
This is the one I got from your buddy in your neck of the woods. I asked you if you knew this guy.
Okay.
I called him on the phone. Yeah.
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 Yep.
Then this one, which is my 8.0 from 1945. Jungle 69, classic early Baker work, right there. I would say he did the girl, probably the guy, but maybe not the elephant. I don't see the same rendering on it. When you're dealing in, it could be Maurice Webb would be a good guess on this one, Richard Case, but it's just these are hard to find in an 8.0 from 1945, and the blue in the water is still solid, which is one of those hard things to maintain. Yeah. So really good stuff. Well, that's my Fiction House run right there. So
yeah, some of those Fiction House Jungle books, they don't have a lot of color to start, and when they fade very easily to just the whole cover is just earth tones, and they're still real cool, but it's tough to find one that still has bright primary colors on it because there wasn't a lot to start with, and they faded. So yeah, if you're being selective about getting the ones that have nice color on them, and that's smart. They're really gems when you get them like that.
Yeah, one of the things, I have a few of the guys on the CBC boards, and a lot of the major dealers know I collect them, and I'll always get an email from them, hey, look what I got. And part of the requirements that they know is if the colors are bright, I'm interested. If the colors are faded, I don't care the grade.
Right.
Yeah, right now on eBay there's all kinds of nice grade Jungle comics that are listed, but the colors are so faded, I'm just going to pass until a better copy comes up.
Exactly. And that's one of the things with Fiction House, you have the opportunity to go around, and there aren't thousands of them when you're dealing in the golden age or the atomic age. There's not as rare either. I mean, it's not like a Wanted here, which there's only 3 of, and most people have never even seen that book. But for like the 159, that's the one I can't find anywhere, you know. Yeah, I can't find it. The guy got one, and we're working on a deal. I'm working on trading with him. He's gonna hold it for me. It's raw. I see it as a 6. It doesn't matter on that cover. If it's a black cover from that Fiction House, which I don't think there are maybe more than 4 of them I've ever seen, and one of them was way early on black cover, which I don't know why they did, because the logo always had the black on it on the top. So.
Yeah, that black one, that gets scarfed up so quick, and the best bet on getting something like that is to try to get an undercopy from one of these bigger guys when they upgrade, because that's one of those books that's like sneaky valuable. Like you can look at the census, that's not how many are out there, because people have them and they don't give them up. You know, right. I watch auctions routinely. I never see that come up in auctions. It's never on eBay. Occasionally I see like a collector on IG is moving his undercopy, but it's not like it's open to everybody. He just sells it to a friend, and then you see somebody else post it, and it's really hard to get your hands on that one.
Yeah, it's a goal for this year to work out a deal with this guy, but, you know. All right, Mr. DS Comics, tell me what more you got to show us.
All right, I don't really have any other books here, but let me show you probably the 2 all-time shark grails. The first one is Adventure. They're both adventure comics. They're super scarce. There may be like 20 to 30 in existence.
From the 30s? From 1938, 39?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Adventure Comics 27 is the absolute best shark cover ever, and just a phenomenal Golden Age book.
That's a nice one.
Unicorn, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's a Craig Flessel cover. It's just, you know, even a low grade of this would be 10 to 15 grand.
Yeah.
I have no delusions I'll ever own it, but that's obviously at the top of the list. So that's the top one, and it's just awesome. It's like a gold shark on it.
And that's the start of the girl. And
it's
that,
great.
by the way, the date on top is the same date, June 38, as Action 1.
Yep, Action 1, same month. And then the other one from that title, which is a huge grail, is number 41.
Now that's what's his name? The cover. That's
I can't remember who the cover is on this.
Sandman. Because he did 34, 36. He did all like a bunch of them.
Leo Melia.
Yep, that's him. Yeah, so 34 is one of mine of Adventure Comics I've always wanted. That's from 1939. It's I think it's April of 39.
Yeah, so those are the top two shark covers on my list, and those would be like, you know, they're huge Golden Age books for any Golden Age collector. So, you know, as a shark collector, I'm, you know, way out of my league just trying to get that. But those are two. And if you want to see, I've made a list here. I've been compiling of shark covers, and I'll show you that real quick. And every time I find a new one, I add to it. Let's see if this is working. Can you guys see this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this is an ongoing list. Every time I find a new one, I add to it. And these are just shark covers. And you can see up here on the upper right is the grail I just showed. But I'll just scroll through these as I talk.
That Buster Crab.
Yeah, that Buster Crab is cool. I actually passed on one of those in a recent auction, Comic Link or something. It was a nice grade too. I can't remember, it was like 6 or 7 or something.
Wow.
And there's the Catman one. Here's the Tarzan one I was talking about, TJ, right here.
There's the exciting. That's a Schoenberg.
Yeah, the exciting one, and this one over here on the left
is a Schoenberg too.
Yeah, this Real Life 11. I've been looking for that. That's like, I see these real life comics come up all the time. I never see that one.
I can't find 35 myself.
You know, there was a 4.0 of this on Comic Link a couple months ago, and it sold for like 150, and I did not bid on it.
Yeah,
so I'm kicking myself for that.
I think we've all been there kicking ourselves. Like with some I fell asleep on, and I'm like, oh, I'll just put a little bit out there so I can watch it, and then at the end of it, I'll bid up to where I want to do it, and it sells for $50 less than you would have paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the 7 Seas, I know Rick's got one right now.
Well, this 7 Seas over here on the left, this is 7 Seas 4, I think. It's super, super hard to get. That's a Matt Baker cover, and it's my favorite Matt Baker cover ever. I'm not a huge Matt Baker fan, but I like this one. But that's just
in his private collection. He's not selling it.
Yeah, I mean, this one is just that's way up there almost with the Adventure Comics at this point.
And any of the 7 Seas or Slave Girls from that era are just impossible.
Yeah, and here's a Fiction House one, this Fight Comics over here on the left. I never see this one come up ever. I'll buy it if I see it, but it's just I never see this one.
What number fight is that?
It's well, I'm not sure.
50s and the 70s are hard to find, a lot of them.
Yeah, I think it's 11.
No, so it's way early. Yeah.
Might be 19. I'm not sure on the top of my head, but I've never seen one, so who knows?
The very early Fiction Houses are very hard to find.
And then there's a Buster Brown promotional one here. That's pretty cool from the shoe store in the 50s.
And you have one of my favorite comics right there, Marvel the All-Star issue with the Blonde Phantom.
Oh, on the bottom here. Yeah, this is. I just added this yesterday because in our No Faces chat, Knights of Old was in the chat. It's 84, and 84, Knights of Old told me about that, and I did not have it on the list, so I actually added this earlier today. I didn't know it was a shark cover, but Submariner is holding a shark on his shoulder.
Shores with Alan Bellman did that cover.
Yeah,
I thought
that makes sense.
Funny cover.
Yeah,
and this Slam Bang Comics is a Canadian cover swipe of the Guns Against Gangsters 6, which I have, but just there's like 2 on the census, and there was one recently, and I didn't bid on it, and I don't know if I'll ever see another one. Not real hard up for it, but it's a cool item. Just a cool cover swipe.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's my shark list, and I've got 3 right now. So
yeah,
off to a good start.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. Well, I want to shout out some guys in the chat who showed up here. Who Dat? How are you? Take the Time Collectibles. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Gretzky. Thank you very much. So JP's Budget Collecting, always good. He was with me at Planet Comic Con. We're looking at elephants, talking with guys. Theory 23, congratulations. Thanks for joining us. I Got Issues is here. Very cool. If I missed you, I apologize. Mr. Garrell, I apologize. There you go. Mr. Garrell, there we go. Thanatos, Matt, how are you? Good seeing you.
Hi, Matt.
Very cool. Pocan Joe, man is working on an entire Rangers run. I think that's great. Getting all the Fiction House Rangers covers. I think he's down about two or three left. Just a Rican and his comics is here. Great to see him. Tech 31, very cool. TJ, what else you want to show?
I got some miscellaneous ones.
I love that.
Some menagerie of different animals. Got this Atlas Lorna.
Oh, number 15, isn't it?
Yep.
That's
13,
on my
13. Yeah.
13, yeah. 13, 15. I have the other one right here, so I'll show that one after you're done.
When I had bought this, it was at the time the only graded copy, but I think there's a couple more now.
They are very hard to come up. They're very, very. Most of the Lorna with the darker hair, the later ones, they're hard to come by. They very rarely produce. So,
but they had a nice elephant on that one.
That's very nice.
Nice Tarzan number 8 from 1949.
That's a Johnny Weissmuller right there, huh?
Yep.
That's nice. I've never seen that one before ever.
I've never seen that blue.
I saw that years ago in my first collection. I saw it in a price guide for Overstreet, and when this came up, I said, I gotta own that. I love that cover.
Nice.
It's funny that books when I was a kid I thought I would never own. There was in pictures of it in Overstreet, and now it's nice to have them.
It is.
Yeah, this was from 1960, Adele Giant with a nice rhino.
Rhino, look at that. 8.5 white pages. DJ brings it every time.
And I can't not show a Warren book.
Oh, of course. The merry-go-round gone crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the zoo. There's one other creep there. TJ, I was trying to find the one. I don't know if I think it's a Warren. Though it could be the Marvel one. There's one where like the merry-go-round breaks or something. I forget what it is. I saw that one. Very cool.
And also, in the Bronze Age, when Joe Kubert was doing Tarzan, there is a small elephant right here.
Oh yeah, that's on my list. I love the DC 100s. Yeah. Actually, those are some of the best reads that whole era. The DC 100, some of the best reads, and they're fun.
Yeah, I love that cover.
That's a good one.
And the one thing I just wanted to show, this is the last. Men's adventure magazines from the 1950s.
Yes.
Were the most popular issues were the ones that had the animals versus man covers.
Oh, nice.
I mean, of course, you have the Nazis and the headlight covers that were popular too.
Right.
But the animal ones were incredibly popular.
Hey, TJ, do you have the? It was a men's adventure magazine with it was like weasels or ferrets attacking a woman who was tied down.
Weasels ripped my flesh. That's on my grail list. I've never seen one for sale.
That is, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's probably like the number 1 or 2 grail of men's adventure magazines, right?
Yes. This was sought after here.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, the snake one.
Yep. And that one actually in a book that was published about men's adventure magazines. That's what they use for the cover. Is this? So I was happy to grab that one.
I'm teaching my kid to fight dirty. It says on the top of there.
Mm-hmm.
And they did use a lot of elephants.
Oh, that's one of my favorites, the hunting ones. Yeah.
But yeah, that weasels rip my flesh is that's going to be a hard one.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw it in an auction like maybe 5 or 6 months ago, and it was a pretty decent copy. But it wasn't. I didn't follow it. I don't know how much it sold for, but I'm sure it was pretty expensive. But
yeah. And another thing about men's adventure magazines, I don't know what paper they use, but it's totally different than comic book paper of any kind, no matter when it was published, because that stuff stinks. The men's adventure magazines just reek to high heaven.
Yeah, I think the paper was treated with some type of chemical that comic books didn't have with the newsprint. So I think that chemical over time is starting to come out of the comics and mixing with the dry rot of the paper, and it's a bad smell. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh wow, good stuff. So now I'm learning stuff about the stank smell that my book has. So very cool. Well, I have a few more here. Some rare ones or some random ones here. This is one with a lot of animals on it. You've got, I don't know, about a good half dozen, if not more. This is Nyoka the Jungle Girl. Here she is with her blouse a little bit undone, but you've got your elephant, your wild boar, your lion, your leopard, your panther, a jaguar, could be a gorilla, a toucan out of nowhere, and it's just, and I'll say antelope, but somebody can tell me if it's something else. I don't know. I've never been on safari, but this is a fun one. Kind of hard to find this book because they went from painted to photo to some art covers. So I do like looking around for the art covers more than the photo covers. I do have a few photo covers of that one.
That's a beautiful cover.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of it was a hard. It was actually, I mean, it was not much money at all. It was just one of those that you randomly find somewhere, and if you want it, you know, that's the thing about the golden age. If it's not popular, you can find something that you want at a lower price in the $20-$30 range. So that's probably what this.
Yeah, and I really think a large portion, and especially the genres that we're talking about tonight, for Golden Age, they're really affordable. I mean, most of the books we're showing, other than some of the bigger grails, you can find a reasonable copy for $100, honestly.
And then here you've got your Detective Comics 333. This is celebrating Detective Comics 1000 last week, so 1/3 or 667 issues ago. This was Batman getting beaten in the head with a Carmine Infantino elephant cover. I hope I pronounced his name right. So there you've got Batman and Robin beating the smacking the elephant down. For our good buddy Donnie, who's not here, might as well show it here. This is a beautiful Frank Bruner cover with some John Buscema art inside of Red Sonja number 13. This is just a great mastodon just coming right down there, or mammoth. Really nice Roy Thomas story. It's Red Sonja, so good girl art all over that one. And then Voodoo. This is the pre-code horror Elephant Grail. This is the hard one to find. Unless you get lucky and pull one out of a bin at C2E2 and say, sure, I'll take it. Usually you don't find these things. I've seen them 2 on eBay sold in the last couple of months for ranging for grades 2 to 3 in the $500 to $600 range, and I have a price tag on there that is nowhere near that. But this is just a classic cover, and it's pretty graphic for, I mean, pre-code horror. It's just, but well done, you know, of the elephants. Then, of course, I'm going to close out with Lorna. I do love my Lorna the Jungle Girl. It's my favorite outside of Fiction House is Marvel Atlas. Here's number 2. This is, I think there's only 3 or so on the census, and this is the second highest one.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, you don't see this one that often. Lorna number 2. It's got two elephants there going crazy. And this is Lorna before she got her blonde hair, and she was a queen at one point before she became the Jungle Girl. And they don't say up here who did it, but I'm pretty sure we found out who did it. I'll double check. I'll put it in the comments if anybody wants that. I forget exactly who it was. But they found out who it was when I asked CG, say, hey, you didn't put the artist on it. So they researched a little bit more. And then there's another Lorna the Jungle Girl, which this is not an elephant. It's a great buzzard cover, which is kind of a popular thing as well. Mm-hmm. It's like an underrated animal with buzzards attacking, and there's a lot of books with buzzards. This is my favorite one of the bunch, and it's just because just the buzzard's all blue, and it still has its color. And Atlas probably was the best quality paper of the era, so usually these are in better grade, but they're not as easy to find. But I do love some of this artwork that was done there.
Yeah, I think there was a JoJo that had a nice buzzard cover too.
Yes, JoJo 9, I think it is, where she's upside down. Yes.
Yeah, and there's a Fight Comics where the girl's chained to the wall, and there's a gigantic vulture about to eat her. It's like Fight Comics. I don't know. I think it's in the 40s or something. It's got a Nazi theme to it as well.
Yeah.
And then Lorna the Jungle Girl, number 9. This I didn't put Mother because I should have, but you can see it here. This one, it's an Al Hartley cover, which Al didn't do that many. So I kind of think this is just a great elephant. Of all the charging elephant ones, this is, of all the books I showed you, the charging elephant, this is my favorite one. I do like how he goes through the title. It's one of those things that you don't mess with the brand much with Marvel and Atlas, but it looks like they did it a lot more back then. And all the stories in here were obviously Stan and a bunch of guys. So it's good stuff. So that's animal covers. Now, that's our animal cover that we're showing everybody. We've all got our grails. We saw some Adventure comics. I have an Adventure 34. One of the things is we want to know from you guys, if you guys collect any animal covers at all. You know, just shoot it out whenever you want in the comments and tell us what animal covers you look for. So anything new or different out there? I know people that like lions and big cats. You know, we talk about big cats, some sharks, apes are very popular. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, I actually have one. You just reminded me, one LB Cole big cat cover. That's sort of a LB Cole grail for me, and it's Catman 29. I'll show you that one. This is the best, to me, the best LB Cole cat cover, and that's Catman 29 right there, just surrounded by the cats.
Cover. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. The Catman, his Catman run was the tail end of that. I think Charles Quinlan did most of the artwork in the early part, but he picked up at like 28 through 32. So I only think he did like 5 or 6 issues at the end, but this is one of them. Yeah, and I really love it.
LB Cole did my favorite Pieta cover on Catman too.
Yeah, 31 with the wolves. Yeah, you guys showed that on your Pieta covers show. So I didn't pull that. I don't own it, but I will show a picture of it. But
that is one of my favorite covers, is the Pieta cover, the Catman with all the wolves attacking. I do have one wolf book. It's the Wanted. It's up the top because of the storyline itself. When you get to read the storyline, the dog that cried murder, the dog actually finds it. This is actually how it was printed, 2 colors. 1952, low print. There's only 3 on the census, and like I said, I know the other people that have them. We always talk when we're out there. We're the only ones that have them, and everybody's on the hunt for them. So, it's if I talked to Don Rosa about this, and he looked it up on his phone afterwards. He goes, "I've never even seen that book," which kind of is funny for a guy with some ridiculous collection like he had. So, well, that's the hunt. I mean, that's not the hunt. That's Stranger Things, everybody. Messing with the brand. That was the hunt winner. It should have been a hunt winner, if you ask me. But that's Stranger Things, and that's we're just showing our animal covers right now. We don't know what the next theme is next. Why don't we let Diaz Comics tell us about more stuff you're putting on his channel? By the way, you should all watch his Comic Link or his comic auction roundup when Comic Connect does theirs and Comic Link does theirs. It's very important to watch because it tells you, like last auction, there wasn't a lot of Golden Age out there. It really was weak. I found one thing that I found 2 I really wanted. One I got outbid on, but I wasn't going to overpay for it. But you can find deals on there. So.
Yeah, I think I try to do Comic Link recaps every time they do an auction. Comic Connect's a little harder because you can't go back afterwards and pull up the auction results. It's only the books you saved. So I don't really do those that much anymore. But Comic Link, and I actually canceled my subscription to GPA. And the reason why is I feel like if you follow the Comic Link auctions, if you just followed the Comic Link auctions, you would have a better idea of the market for certain books than if you looked them up on GPA. So I get more knowledge just keeping up on the Comic Link auctions than the GPA. And I do a recap after every one of those auctions, and I do silver and bronze together, and then I do a Golden Age. And you know, I try to throw out enough so that if you just watch those, you would have a good idea of where the comic market is for those different eras and the big books and stuff like that. So I try to make it interesting, and I try to pull out key books. So I try to do that every single month.
Very cool. Put something in the chat so anybody who doesn't sub you up can sub you up right there, because I think it's an important show to watch. And a lot of times I'll talk about Golden Age pricing, and GPA, as good as it is for Silver Age, Commons, and Modern, obviously all that stuff, you want to keep up what's going on and go collect. You won't find them. Golden Age is pretty much a buyer and seller market we get together. You know, books are hot, but they're hot, you know, Black Cat 50, you know, it's hot. It's always going to be hot. It's a little way too hot right now, if you ask me. But it's just ridiculous. But again, there are bargains to be had, or books that I've I fell in love with the jungle stuff, so I'm happy that it's not very popular.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, they'll say to me, since I collect Golden Age, that they really love the Golden Age and they wish they could get into it, but they're not going down that hole. It's too expensive. But watch some of my Comic Link recaps, watch some of my channel, because not all the Golden Age is expensive. There was one I showed today on the Comic Link auction, admittedly a very low-grade Golden Age book, but it was complete, and it sold for $11. You can't even get a book slabbed for $11, and that was a Golden Age book. The cover looked good. It had a full split for the book. It was a 1.0, but it was complete. $11. I mean, there's a lot of, and the stuff we're showing tonight, this is very affordable stuff. I mean, under $100, you can fill out a nice Golden Age collection. So it's really, it's not all sky high like Black Cat 50.
Oh, right. No. I bought a lot of Golden Age comic books for under $100.
Yeah. I mean, even my slab books are, with the exception of the Orbit, most of my slab books were reasonably priced, and where was it going in there?
You should watch DS's channel too for his haul videos, because they're amazing.
Yeah.
And when he does a collection review, it's amazing. So
I really want to see that recap of when he gets his books back from CGC.
Oh, you know, I can't even remember what I have there. I've got 15 or 16 Golden Age books. They're all top-notch books. They're all mid-grade. They're all like 5.0 to 6.5-ish range. I threw out the list that had them. I usually print it off when I send to CGC. I threw that out by accident. I don't know what's even there right now, and I'm not going to check until they come back, and I'll be surprised not only by the grades, but by what books. I don't even remember what. I know there's a Nightmare 13 there, and it's probably in the 5 to 6 range. But I can't even remember what else is there, but it'll be a good unboxing. It's some good stuff.
Excellent. I want to shout out some last people in the chat here. Tech 31, good to see you. John's Comics with Kids is here. TJ.
Hi, John.
Okay. We've got Discovery Babe. We've been discovered. Very happy to see that. So one of the other things, when JP's Budget Collecting is here, one of the things that we talk about here is there's a new show in the works. DS and myself are in there, and we're going to bring on some guests here and there. DS, myself, and Knights of Old, and we're going to call it the Golden Guys. We're going to get it off the ground, I promise. We're working on dates and everything else, and we're just going to talk Golden Age, and it's going to be advice we can give people and what we see in the wild. It's kind of like going to be a recap of all of our shows, including like the stuff I show on The Hunt or the stuff I show on Stranger Things. Kind of a recap of what I see in the market now, what's going on. And we have 3 guys who collect 3 totally different things. I mean, you have a jungle guy with me, and you have a pre-code horror LB Cole fan in DS Comics, and we have Knights of Old, who is the Timely guy who knows more about Timely than any of us. So it's going to be a great run. It's going to be a great show. The Golden Guys, we'll bring on a guest every once in a while as our Estelle Getty as well. So that's there. TJ, you want to say anything? You got anything coming up?
Nope, no, got nothing coming up.
I think John's Comics with Kids has something coming up.
Yep, not my show.
Not yours. Yeah, you and I will watch from the bleachers, okay?
Yes.
We'll be on the phone. So, well, very cool. And we'll be definitely bringing in some guests to this Golden Guy show. We're going to look for it and fill in guests if I can't make it or somebody else can make it. We know there's a bunch of you guys out there, and we just want to enjoy this here. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I'm not going to promote anything on my channel right now. Save that for tomorrow night. Comic Core Unlimited. Thank you all. Great crowd, great crew, and I learned a lot today from guys like DS Comics and TJ, and I really appreciate everybody. So thanks again. We kept it under an hour. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. See you later.
See you later.